everybody. Lost my strap there for a second. Dave Hill coming at you with lesson number 26 here. Thank you for tuning into the lessons, and I hope you've been learning a lot. We've been doing this for a while now, and we're giving you a lot of information, and I hope this stuff is sinking in and you're getting a lot of information that you can really use to improve your music. So we're going to dive into right away what we're going to do today on this lesson or in this lesson, and give you an opportunity to start working on it right away. Up till now, we've been working on arpeggios, okay? And arpeggios are a critical component to our improvising and our melody tricks, the things that we can play melodies with, okay? So you'll have noticed from what I was playing that I was using devices, melodic devices called arpeggios. I started off playing a lot of D minor sounds because this progression was in D minor, and that's a good arpeggio to use over the chords that I was using. Now, we've only covered major 7th and dominant 7th up till now, which have been very helpful, and we've gotten a lot out of those arpeggios. But we're going to start going into minor arpeggios today, minor 7th. So let's take a look at the board here, and we'll discuss these, and then I'll put them in practice for us. So let's take two shapes that we're going to be pretty comfortable starting with here. The first shape is going to be related to the roots on the E string, either of the two E strings, and also on the 4th string, and that's this shape right here. And if you recall, this relates to the open E form that we've always discussed when we relate to anything in this root orientation, whether it's a major 7th chord or dominant 7th chord like we learned. This is now going to be a minor 7th chord. And I know you know what the chord is, but we haven't really figured out how to play an arpeggio. So let's review the last one that we did learn and then compare it to that and then modify it to make it a minor 7th. So the last shape we learned in this position, or one of the shapes that we learned, was a dominant 7th chord, right? Remember this one? Okay. We also learned originally a major 7th. And that's all available in this position, originating from that form. Okay, now today we're going to take the dominant 7 and we're going to make it a minor 7th. And we're going to just have to modify one note now. We're just going to take the major 3rd that was here and the major 3rd that was here and here, and we're going to make them minor 3rds because that's what a minor 7th is spelled. It's spelled, if you recall, minor 7th equals root, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, and flat 7. Okay? So that's what we've got here. We've got the root, we've got the minor 3rd, the 5th, the flat 7, and the root again. Okay? Root, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, flat 7, and then the root. So that's this form. Okay, and then we go to the next octave. And there it is, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, root, and then a minor 3rd on top. And that pretty much finishes it off. Remember, we started off with dominant right here. And all we had to do was change the 3rds and bring those down to the minor 3rds, and we've got our minor 7th arpeggio. And that makes for a just a perfect sound for a lot of chord progressions. We can use them over diatonic chord progressions, over blues progressions, we're just going to find a lot of use for these arpeggios. So that's the first form, okay? So let's try that together in a nice even tempo here and play that up and down all the way up to that note and back down. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now notice that it's very similar to a pentatonic scale, but it's not a pentatonic scale because a pentatonic scale has a 4th degree, right? So this is a minor 7th arpeggio, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, right? Okay, it fits perfectly over that voicing of a minor 7th chord. Okay, so let's move to the next position. We'll be able to play a minor seventh in. And we're going to just do it, let's go ahead and do it in A again. So we'll be way up here now because you'll see where the root is. It's on the 5th string now. So where's A on the 5th string in that shape? It's going to be at the 12th fret. Okay? Now, we remember the last video, or one of the last videos where we discussed dominant 7 arpeggios. It looked like this in this position, and this comes from the A form. The open A shape, but it's of course dominant, so it's that. And so this is what we learned. So that's 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7. So once again, what we've got to do is take the major thirds and make them minor thirds. And that makes it pretty apparent what's going to happen. This major third is going to go down here, and this major third here is going to be here. And that's all we're going to have to deal with in this shape. There's 2 of them. 1, flat third, 5th, flat 7, root, flat third, 5th, flat 7. So that's what that form looks like. It fits really nicely over that shape. So now that's 2 forms. We've got the one on the 6th fret, or the 6th string. And we've got the one on the 5th string. Okay, and that makes us, puts us in a lot of different possibilities of what we could play now. We're just going to work on them right now because I want you to compare them and work and put them together compared to what we've already been practicing. I'm not going to give you all 5 of these shapes at once because I feel it's better to learn them a little bit at a time and really go back and prepare based on what you already know and get that information connected to this new stuff. Okay? So let's play these back to back again, like this. Let's start off in this position and play it, and then jump up here and start this one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, very good. Now let's play this position. 2, 3 from the root. Okay. I'm just going to show you something. I know we've used this progression before, but it's kind of a good example of how I can use minor 7th arpeggios. There's a lot of other chords in this progression, but I'm going to stick with the minor 7th arpeggios kind of as a focus, just so you can hear how great they can sound. So this is an E. Okay, so I'm going to be moving E minor arpeggios around, and maybe some A minor, but I'm just going to try to play arpeggios based on the 2 shapes that we've learned right here. Okay, so check this out. 3, 4. Now I was bending notes and I was adding a couple of extra notes along the way, but for the most part I was just sticking to the minor 7th arpeggios that we just played. I might even slid into some of the notes, but you can hear how expressive just a simple arpeggio can be when you put other elements to it. And primarily it's the way I'm phrasing the notes and making the notes kind of have a musical feel by the way that I'm bending into them and sliding into them. That helps a lot. Okay, so you can make a lot of music even with a couple of arpeggio shapes. Okay, so now let's go back to my progression here, and I want to talk about what we're going to do in this exercise. Okay, you can see on the board behind me, or maybe it's better from this side, that I've written out a progression based off the 3 chord arpeggio sounds that we've got now. We've played major 7th, we've played dominant 7th, and minor 7th. Okay? So that's a lot of information. We've only learned 2 of the minor 7s as we just discussed, but we've learned 5 positions of major 7th and dominant 7th. So you've learned a lot already. Sorry, full. Just had Vietnamese food and I'm very, very full. Let's go ahead and put together what we've learned and see if we can make this work for us. So we've got, we're going to stay in this position, let's say, starting off with C major 7 and play one of the first shapes we learned in major 7, like this. Okay, and then the chord underneath this is going to change to dominant, and we're going to just convert this shape now to dominant. Right, and we'll go right into that. Right, and then we're going to play the new one we just learned, the minor 7, and we're going to play in that same position. And the 4 underneath each of these chords means that I'm going to play, or I've got the track so that it's going to be 4 bars of each chord. So that's what you're going to be hearing, okay? So this is just going to be a workout on the 3 sounds that we've learned, okay, in one position. Let's see if we can get all the way through the first ending here, because we start here and we go down to here, and we're going to repeat it. But let's just see what it sounds like. See if we can hang in there up to the first ending, okay? Let's see what we've got here. Yes, this is it. Let me find my tempo here. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's dominant. Now here comes the new one, minor 7. Up and down is fine. Back to the major 7. Now let's go back to the minor 7th again. Now let's go back to the major 7. Stop right here. Okay, so that's just an exercise right now, just merely designed to give you the workout going up and down the 3 shapes, the 3 chord qualities that you've learned in one position. I know that you've learned the major 7th and the dominance in other shapes, and that's fine, but right now I'm trying to combine them in one form that you know, and that's the common denominator here is this shape right here, because we just learned that in minor, so we're going to connect them together now. Okay, now if we were to keep going through the exercise, you could go to F, okay? Now F, what I want you to do is simply play that, and without moving up to this position of F, I want you to play the F major 7 right here. Right? So that's a shape that you should be familiar with, and then we go back down to C major. And then we're going to go back to F, but now it's going to be a minor 7, and then we're going to have the opportunity to play that form right there. So that's what we're going to do here. 4 bars of that, and then up to G. Now G7, we've learned in a few positions, so to make it kind of convenient, why don't we just stay in this position and play G7 right here. And that pretty much fills the end of the progression until we go back to the beginning again, okay? And there's all kinds of variations that you could do to make this more challenging, but I'm going to sit down now so you can play along, and I can be out of the way here. And we're going to do this together. Okay, so let's see if you can keep up. If you have a hard time playing eighth notes, then just play half notes. Right? If you want to play If you want to make it more challenging, you can even skip around. Skip around the arpeggio shape. Just the same notes, but I'm skipping around the form a little bit so I can mix it up. Okay, so there's different ways you can practice it. Okay, I'm going to stick to the up and down shape though. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here comes dominant 7. Okay, back minor 7. There's the new one for us. Now major 7. Now we're going to go to minor 7th again on the first ending. And we're going to go to major 7th. Good. Now we're going to go back to the top. I'm going to skip around. You can do that too if you want. Now here's dominant 7. A little more random. There, Daniel. Okay, now we're going to go to the second ending. Here comes the second ending. Now there's that new form right there. Here's the C major 7 again. Now here comes the new form of minor 7. Okay, so it's a little workout there designed to put what you've just learned now with the minor 7 arpeggios in combination with the arpeggios that you've already been working on that you should be pretty familiar with now. And that's the major 7th and 5 positions and the dominant 7th and 5 positions. So my point here is to give you a little bit at a time and make sure that you're learning these properly and you're practicing them in a nice regimented kind of but fun situation where you're gonna learn them more effectively that way. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you on the next one. Back to my little jam here, and practice hard, and I'll see you around.